Hello and welcome to Miss Hannah Loves Grammar. In this video we'll be answering the question, what is a contraction? And before you ask, I'm not thinking about pregnant women going into labour. No, instead a contraction is when an apostrophe is used to replace missing letters that have been removed. We use contractions really to reflect how we speak rather than how we should write. Let me give you some examples of common phrases as whittled down into their contractions. So as opposed to saying I am, I could say I'm. As opposed to saying you are, I'd say you're, with an apostrophe after the you. Cannot becomes can't, and as you can see in each of these cases, letters are being removed where the apostrophe is placed. Do not becomes don't. They are becomes their. Who is whose. Could not becomes couldn't. Does not becomes doesn't. Should have becomes should have. The reality is, we need contractions to show how we elide or bring words together and how our speech is mirrored. So we need a documentation of how we speak. It's also quicker in some cases. Let me give you two sentences, and each one I'm going to explain to you how convoluted it would seem if we didn't use contractions. So imagine this is a conversation that's happening and someone says, don't ask, but you're certain it should have arrived ages ago. Without the contractions in that sentence, it would say, do not ask, but you are certain it should have arrived ages ago. Now, it might seem like seconds added to the conversation or the dialogue of this person who's speaking, but actually it's an unnecessary addition. We can get straight to the point just by using contractions. Let's try another one. Can't you see? He doesn't know who's who. Now, in this case, it'd be even more confusing, actually, if I didn't use contractions. Cannot you see? He does not know who is who. So contractions are simultaneously speedier to read or mirror our speech, but they also are time-saving in general. Now it's your turn. For each of the three sentences, consider if the apostrophe is placed in the correct position. Hit pause if you need thinking time. So, how did you get on? Can't you help next weekend? Is a fine sentence that includes a contraction. However, the apostrophe does not belong after the C. So this does need the position of the apostrophe to change. It should instead read can't, spelt C-A-N apostrophe T. That's because we're contracting the words cannot. Can't you help next weekend should therefore be corrected, as you can see in green below. Who's the owner of that flashy sports car? This doesn't need a change of where the position of the apostrophe is, because whose is the contraction form of the two words who is, and it makes sense as it is with the position of the apostrophe where it's placed. Finally, I should have spent more time on my project. Now, when I hear that sentence, it seems correct. Unfortunately, though, the position of the apostrophe is wrong, because should, as a word, should not be broken up. Instead, it's after the D, before the V and the E in should have, that we meet the contraction brought together. So instead, should have the apostrophe after the D, before the V. Therefore, we do need to place the apostrophe in a different position. Contractions are a lifesaver. They're a lifesaver because they quickly articulate exactly how we speak. They save us time if we're writing a message quickly. But it's best for us to know the exact position of the apostrophes we're using, so that there's no doubt exactly what we mean to say, and there's no way that we affect the clarity of what we're saying. Why not subscribe to Miss Hannah Loves Grammar for all things English, literary and grammatical?